Welcome one and all to a Sudrian Introduction, the show where we dive into the history of engines that keep the island of Sodor running strong. Today we will be focusing on the most splendid on the Northwestern Railway, James. James was built to work on the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway. He was a prototype, being one of the first of his class to be fitted with a pony truck at the front to help with balancing at high speeds, something his predecessors suffered from dreadfully. Unfortunately, James didn't quite produce the results the men were looking for. However, this didn't prevent him from keeping busy. He was mixed traffic, which meant he could handle both coaches and trucks with ease, or at least he should have been. However, James was a very stubborn engine. He was often rough when it came to pulling trucks, which resulted in several hotboxes, derailments, and many tricks from the trucks. Pulling coaches was easy enough, but because of his wooden brakes, he often overshot or undershot the platform. In all fairness, these were teething troubles that most inexperienced engines go through, and with guidance from the other engines, James started being a much more reliable engine. Everything had improved nicely, everything except his shunting. While he was able to pull trains with little to no issues, it was a different story in the yards. He hated shunting. The trucks got on his nerves constantly, and the coaches always had something to complain about. There had hardly been a truck in the yard that hadn't felt James's wrath. This resulted in a very disorganized yard and a few angry shunters. It didn't take long before the manager had some strong words for James. "In all my years, I've never worked with such a troublesome engine. You are on thin ice, James. One more mishap from you and you'll be sent packing." With the threat of being sent away looming over him, James shaped up. His trains were punctual and he gave the shunters a run for their money. Everything was going well for James. However, the trucks hadn't quite forgiven him for his previous treatment of them. They teased him every chance they got. James did his best to ignore them and not let them get the better of him. Unfortunately for James, these trucks were awfully persistent. "Failure! Failure! Failure! You klutzy prototype! Who needs him? Useless! 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 Send him packing! Send him packing! Good for scrap! Good for scrap! Good for scrap!"
Shut up!
Well, James, I have good news and bad news. The bad news is that train you decided to send through the buffers cost us quite a lot of money. Whatever was sitting in those trucks before is completely unsalvageable now. You've caused quite a stir, and my higher-ups are demanding I take action. "I understand, sir. I suppose this is the end of the line for me, then." Not quite. The good news is I was able to pull some strings, and luckily a controller out on Sodor has been looking for a mixed-traffic engine. I recommended you, and he'll be expecting you by the end of the week. I don't know what to say. Keep this in mind, James. Scrap could have been an option. However, I see a great amount of potential in you. You've got plenty of growing to do, little James, and with enough time, I'm sure you'll turn out to be a truly splendid engine. Sadly, it just won't be on this railway. Promise me you'll do your best to not waste this second chance, okay? "Yes, sir. I promise." Once the manager left, James had a lot on his mind. The thought of leaving was both scary and exciting for him. However, something the manager had said secretly motivated him. "A truly splendid engine, huh? I think I like the sound of that." James may seem conceited and self-centered at times, but that's only confidence he gained by working on Sir Topham Hatt's railway. Under all that red paint and vanity is a heart of gold and an immeasurable amount of pride in his work, even if it means pulling dirty trucks. Dependable, reliable, and rarely late, you'll never find anyone who is this great. That's all for today, folks. Join us next time when we discuss another engine on Sudrian Introductions. Thank you for watching.
I know you're sorry, James, and I know, too, that you want to be a useful engine. People are laughing at my railway, and I do not like that at all.
Take your fucking railroad and stick it up your ass,
Said James.